You walk into a funeral, but something feels wrong. People are crying. The casket is open. You step closer, and then you see your own face staring back at you. That's exactly what happened to Noella Rukundo. 2015, Australia. Noella Rukundo thought she had the perfect marriage. She had escaped violence in her home country of Burundi and built a new life with her husband, Balenga Kalala. They had kids, a home, a future, or so she thought. One day, her stepmother passed away, and her husband encouraged her to fly back to Burundi for the funeral. She agreed, not knowing she was walking into a death trap, because Balenga had already put a hit on her life. Balenga Kalala was a controlling and abusive husband. For years, he had been jealous and paranoid about Noella leaving him. But then, something pushed him over the edge. One day, Noella was talking to a church pastor for advice on their marriage. She confided in him about her husband's aggressive behavior. She didn't know that Balenga was listening. That's when he snapped. He believed she was planning to leave him. If she left, she could take the kids and his money. So he made a decision: if he couldn't have her, no one could. He contacted a group of hitmen in Burundi. They agreed to kill her for $7,000. All he had to do was get her there. So when her stepmother died, he saw the perfect chance. He urged her to fly back for the funeral, but she had no idea she was walking straight into his trap. Noella arrived in Burundi and checked into a hotel. That night, she heard a knock at her door. As soon as she opened it, she was surrounded. A group of armed men grabbed her, blindfolded her, and shoved her into a car. She was terrified. She thought she was about to die. Then one of the men spoke.
Your husband sent us to kill you.
She couldn't believe it. The love of her life had hired assassins to murder her. The hitman drove her to an undisclosed location. She thought it was over. She was waiting for the end. But then something strange happened. The leader of the hitmen recognized her last name. It turns out he knew her brother. Her brother was a respected man in their community. And because of that personal connection, the hitmen refused to kill her. Instead, they told her everything. They let her listen to her husband's voice, confirming the hit. They showed her the exact amount of money he had paid them. Then, instead of killing her, they let her go. Before she left, they handed her something shocking. A recorded phone call of her husband ordering the hit. She wasn't just going to survive, she was going to get revenge. 3 days later, Noella returned home. Meanwhile, her husband thought she was dead. He even planned her funeral. Friends and family gathered, crying, mourning. Then, the door swung open, and there she was, Noella standing in the doorway, alive. Her husband turned pale. His hands started shaking. She walked straight up to him and whispered, "Surprise, I'm still alive." The entire room went silent. Then, the police arrived. They arrested him on the spot. The aftermath. Her husband confessed everything. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison. He had spent $7,000 to have her killed, but instead, he destroyed his own life. Imagine attending your own funeral. What would you do if this happened to you?